Hey, it's Friday, October 25th, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on the West Coast. I am Brannon Beliso. This is Success Never Sleeps, where we, as a collective of small business owners, predominantly martial arts school owners, try to figure out this thing called life, where we can be profitable, where we can fulfill our versions of success, take care of our families, our teams, our communities, and celebrate life because we've chosen that path to be an entrepreneur. So I want to begin by thanking my sponsors, as always. My sponsors. Tucson Market Muscles, My Studio, Kids of Life Skills, LC Accounting, and now Kin Creative. All companies I work with, all companies that have had an impact on growing and sustaining my locations and businesses, and all services. If you're not using, you should at least be curious enough to look into them and see the potential. What else we got going on? It's Time Life Purpose. I'm so excited. We're a couple of weeks out, and It's Time Life Purpose is right here in Millbrae, California, 5 minutes from San Francisco Airport, where you can come for 1 day, 2 days, or 4 days. The 4 days is magical. It's just magical, where we spend time with Dave Kovar with instructors training in his world famous instructors boot camp. We have Adam Lodi, who's going to help us. We're doing some really innovative, disruptive things when it comes to the digital media presence for all of us martial arts school learners at Facebook, Instagram, Google, YouTube, etc. Shannon G. Park, she's got a product called Story, where she's really deep into early child development and helping us as martial arts school owners. She's actively teaching, actively out there. And so I believe her impact can be phenomenal on helping us achieve those goals. Sam On, and I shared that today with some friends. I'm at the highest level of net worth I've ever been in my lifetime. And that's attributed greatly to Sam On and his teachings of financial solvency. And so go to brandonbeliso.com, put it in the links. Mark will put in the link there, but look under events and come for 1 day, 2 day, or 4 days. But this is where you need to be to get yourself ready to go for 2025. And that's why we strategically do this in November, because I believe it has the impact to carry over and make a huge difference for you in 2025. Cool. All right. So, I get the privilege of working with school owners all over the world. And as they're looking at the last couple months of the year, they're basically kind of like, putting on the shutters on the window, battening down the hatches, and, looking forward to January 2025. And it's not something I really recommend. I recommend that every day is an opportunity to be your best, do your best. In my case, live your best life. So today's show is going to be all about your questions. And I'm going to give you my disruptive answers that have not only paved the way and created new ways of doing business in the martial arts industry, but to get your thinking, going in other directions. Thought leaders, at different times in life are shunned upon, right? If you think of some of the wars that have happened throughout the throughout history, callers get killed. They take you out, right? I'm a left-handed person, and I know this is a weird tangent for a minute, but they used to kill people like me. Yeah, they called us witches. I remember up until I was a child, nuns even hit me for writing with my left hand. They can't do that. If you look, Google it. Left-handed people were considered evil or just craziness. And that shows you how we as a society are sheep being led to slaughter. Our martial arts industry is no different. Whoever's got the best marketing, the slickest packaging, you buy their product and you wonder why decade after decade after decade after decade, your school is fundamentally still in the same position it's been decade after decade after decade. Why? Because your mind suffers from that mentality. Monkey see, monkey do. Right? We see that meme where everybody's walking this path and this lone person is over here going in their own direction. I'm sharing with you that is probably one of the greatest skill sets for being a successful small business owner and entrepreneur. You went into business for yourself because you want to do it your way. But what is your way? And if you can't make that way profitable, then it's easy to point fingers at you and say, well, you're not successful. Well, I'm successful because I'm living my life. I'm living the life I want to lead. And that's a great starting point. But if you can't build that business to the point to take care of yourself, your family, your team, and give back to the community, then you might find yourself struggling with those ideas that you have. You with me? So today's all about that. It's all about that. James, what's up, James? Resilient Martial Arts. They're in the Rocky Mountain High state. I always, and every time you post that, I hear John Denver. Rocky Mountain High, right? Colorado. Yeah, I remember all that stuff because John Denver loved Colorado. So I want you to put your questions in there. Of course, I'm going to talk away while I wait for those questions. But please, as you come aboard, say hello. Tell us who you are, where you're tuning in from. Now, I posted that meme the other day, a picture where my hand's up like this. And I tell people, never be afraid to raise your hand. Never be afraid to ask questions. And I know we're taught that growing up. I don't want to raise my hand and ask questions because I don't want to look stupid. No, the person who is stupid is the one whose ego gets in the way and they refuse to ask any questions. So I'm always the kid in the front row. I'm always the kid raising his hand going, why? Right? And so that's really important. That's why I like doing um, episodes like this periodically. You have questions. I want to give you my thoughts on them, not my opinion, right? Not my opinion, because you hear that a lot. And I want to double down on that for a minute. I'm entitled to my opinion. Well, that sense of entitlement is simply one thing by itself, right? But to earn an opinion through life experience, through learned experience, through trial and error, through mistake, through research, through dedication to your craft, that is an opinion I think has a lot more weight than I'm entitled to. So you're entitled to these questions. I welcome these questions because you are a small business owner. Cool? All right. So while I wait on those questions, please say hello as you come aboard and put in your questions. So, we're looking at the end of the year, right? Here we are, November and December. Wow. And as I shared, a lot of people are battening down the hatches, waiting for January, new year, new you. I'm going to have a great 2025. And people tend to do that. My mindset, and this is very true to this day, every night at midnight, for most days, I might miss a couple. I say to myself, Happy New Year. Every night. Every night. Because if you're present in your life, then the only day you got is today, right? And every day is New Year's Day for me. And I think that's unique because it offers you the opportunity, if you have a bad day, to not allow one bad day to turn into one bad week, to turn into one bad month, to turn into one bad year. So, by waiting for New Year's to make changes in your life, by waiting for New Year's to, begin investing in your business and yourself is ill-fated. It should be something you do on a daily basis. So that shift in mindset is really, really powerful. So, with that said, looking at November and December, what do we do at our locations to make it the best year ever? Well, we're all coming off our trunk or treats. We have 3 of them this weekend. We have 2 Halloween parties, and we do it right. I think we're up to about $4,000 worth of candy, and we will have a beautiful rack card that was designed and printed with a QR code to scan and sign up for a free class, right? Complimentary class. This bag, my wife painstakingly assembled each and every bag. One M&M, one Twix, one Kit Kat, one. It's just so every child, because the Disney experience, and this is super important, that Disney experience and what she saw when she storyboarded this out, right? A trunk or treat, because we would go to them, and they even some of the elementary schools will give you candy, right? And trinkets. And I'm looking at this going, I don't want to hand you a bunch of sweet tarts, right? And some plastic spider ring. I have no desire to do that because it's not representative of our brand. I appreciate the gesture, but it doesn't represent living your best life. So imagine getting this bag and kids' eyes just light up when they get this bag that's, fully just, I mean, it's a lot more than a handful of sweet tarts. So it has that, it has the rack card. Plus, at the trunk or treats, they can't simply come up and say, trick or treat, and get this bag and walk off. No, we need to culturally have an interaction. So what do? They come up and say trick or treat. We say, awesome. You want to earn this bag of candy? Because earning is in line with our kidslovelifeskills.com philosophy of learn to earn things. Well, how do I earn this amazing big bag of candy that nobody in any of these other trunk or treats are ever going to give me? I want that. Yes, you do. Well, can you say focus? And the kid says focus, and we do the first part of the life talk for focus. So there's the value. The parent's sitting there waiting for their kid to get this bag of candy. We have this captive audience. We go through the life talk of focus, which shares culturally that we are a life skills education environment. Kid breaks the board, which is a highlight too. And every parent's got their phone like this, social mediaing this, and they're posting it, right? And their kid breaks the board, which for some kids they've never done. And then they get a focus badge, and that goes on their costume, and then we present them with this bag of candy. So see how we storyboarded that out? And it's not disruptive in the sense that, I'm a big Walt Disney business guy. So I like studying Walt Disney and his philosophies and his strategies of business. And we'll talk about that in a minute. Keep that thought, hold that for me, Marco, in reference to tuition increases. Okay. Because I'm gonna ask you, if I don't bring it back up, to bring that up, Marco. And so Disney is big on storyboarding, right? So, we took our kids to a couple of trunk or treats, and they were, it's more like this thing of getting as much candy as you can. So they go from, trunk to trunk to trunk, and then they go back trunk to trunk to trunk. It got to the point where some people even put a stamp so you can't come back twice. I can't tell you how many kids come back to our trunk or treat and want more. Or once they get it, they go off and suddenly they come back with a horde of kids, right? Because they just go, whoa, One Martial Arts has the best candy booth ever, right? It's just on point. It's on point. So Disney's big on storyboarding. And it's something I recommend you do with your trial process, right? When somebody opts in at your website, hypothetically, what's the first part of the story, right? They're the hero. I know that. Study Disney. I'm not the hero. So if I go to your website and there's a picture of you at the top of the website, I'm going to challenge you. You are not the hero of this story. You are not. The hero of the story is who? Luke Skywalker. Instructors, school owners, we're Obi-Wan Kenobi or Yoda. That's who we are, right? So again, if you storyboard when somebody opts into your website, what's the first thing you said to them? Congratulations, right? For investing in your first step in living your best life, right? Give them the credit. They're the hero. Thank them. Express that. And then what is that like all the way up until they show up to your door for the trial? And then once they become an active student, what is it like every day? See, so you can storyboard that. And I believe borrowing from that, if we can do that, the potential is unlimited. So hold that thought. What's James's question, Marco? What do we have? Every year, I plan out events, and this year is going to be more on marketing and growth while trying by tying them into the event and grassroots focus on service to the community. Yeah, but like I said, James, in this beautiful bag of candy, which nobody spends the money on, absolutely nobody, nobody, nobody. We have a beautiful card with a QR code that gets them to scan to sign up for a trial. That's how we'll capture the information. I'm not going to do it in the booth, right? Because it defeats the purpose for us. You want this bag of candy? You must give me your name and your email, or you cannot have this bag of candy, which I'm holding hostage, right? What the heck? What is that all about, right? Then, okay, what's your email? Scooby-Doo at hauntedmansion.com. Oh, okay. What's your name? Scooby-Doo. I don't like that you're asking me for my name, right? You'll get that from people because it's very intrusive because in that moment, it's not what I want. I'm here for candy. So, but we can now put the power in the consumer's hands by having that beautiful rack card, in with this wonderful candy, right? The second leg of that, which works really well, is we invite our parents to give out candy to help promote the school. Little M&M snack size bags are perfect to staple our call to action card. But to make the experience complete, we give them a bag of candy with nothing attached. So it's a healthy balance of, hey, this is our way of saying thank you to you, and here's a bag to promote the school. So see, everything we look at, we sit there and try to storyboard, right? We storyboard it out, right down to the drills in our classes. If we're doing a drill, what does that look like, right? And borrowing from Roland Osborne, which I thought was very brilliant, Roland said, well, introduce the technique. Do it like boom, like Transformers, Power Rangers, Ninja Turtles. We're learning this today. Who wants to learn this? Boom. It's like the opening scene of a Transformer movie. Everybody wants to learn it. Then the next part of the story, I teach it to you 3 times. Then what? I do it with you 3 times. Then what? I watch you do it 3 times. Then what? Then we drill, 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 drill. See, even Roland has a storyboard. And most successful programs have some sort of storyboard, right? It works when you write systems. It works for everything. James, how do I storyboard a yearly plan? Um, that's a good question. When you talk about a yearly plan, are we discussing your syllabus of your class lesson plans? Are we discussing your marketing for a whole year? Are we discussing retention events? Are we discussing your personal calendar? So when you say a yearly plan, can you be more specific on that, James? Cool. So going back to the November, December. So Halloween, we've pretty much covered, right? We've pretty much covered that. What we will do at our actual Halloween parties at both locations is the selfie stations have become really, really big. We have 4 or 5 different backdrops of Halloween scenes. If you take a picture in front of it, you post it at social media, show it to any volunteer walking around with tickets, you get a ticket. And one goes in the raffle box and you keep one. Every 10 to 15 minutes, we are doing a raffle. $25 gift cards for Target, Trader Joe's, In-N-Out Burger. We're giving away hoodies and t-shirts leading up to the end of the story, which will be, guess what? A week of camp. We give that away. And how do we wrap up our Halloween parties? We don't trick or treat anymore. We have these beautiful bags of candy ready to go. And again, the kid will get up, they'll break a board, and they'll earn that bag of candy. That's the last thing we do at the party. So we storyboard that out. Marketing and retention. Well, that's easy, James. What you need to do is take January through December, right? Know that every great event, there's 6 weeks of marketing behind it, 6 weeks of planning, 6 to 8 weeks, depending what it is, right? But before we look at marketing and retention, the first thing we schedule out is our entire curriculum calendar for the year, especially belt testing, makeup stripe workshops, black belt prep workshops, black belt testing dates. That takes priority, right? Because we make our most money from retaining our existing students, right? We make our most money off teaching martial arts classes. So that's a given. That's got to be first. But make no mistake, my guy said to me, let's pass on this trunk or treat. We got one in San Francisco tomorrow because our priority is the Halloween party. It's a retention event for our existing students. I said, no, 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 young Padawan. Every everything is a priority in our business. So we booked it, we worked it out, and yours truly, because I'm not teaching, right? Yours truly gets to go there and set up the trunk or treat in San Francisco. Someone's going to come relieve me. I'll go to Millbrae and do that Halloween party at our school, support the team that's running it. Then I'll go do a trunk or treat at Green Hills Elementary. Today I'm doing a trunk or treat at Meadows. So I think when we talk about that marketing and retention calendar, James, first thing is anything martial arts based. That's our priority. It's our bread and butter. It's where we make the most money. And I want to retain my existing students. Like when you always ask me, how do I get 10 new students? My better question is, how do I keep the 10 that I have? And again, curriculum gets the first schedule. Next level, that would definitely be, and understand under that curriculum schedule is all of the staff training to implement and teach that curriculum. Okay. So then the next level is marketing. We talk about marketing. The last true form of marketing, James, is trust. It's trust. So for me, consistency needs to be there. Even more so, consistency in my message, right? This one guy posted all the stuff, we teach you to be fit and strong. And then his next post is a picture of him with a big ass cigar in his mouth. I'm very, very challenged by that. It's inconsistent, right? One thing you use some, AI generated martial arts meme because you think it's very, very cool. Then the next minute, you've got this homegrown photo of a kid in class holding up a board they broke. It's very inconsistent. So I think look, feel, everything wise with what you do in marketing must be consistent because consistency builds trust. And trust is the last true form of marketing. If you can get anything out of today's Success Never Sleeps, write that down, right? Consistency earns trust, and trust is the last true form of marketing. I have taken down so many posts, that I post and I look at it and 5 minutes later, it's gone. But if you look at my social media, whether it's the It's Time Live consulting or the Brannon Beliso as a brand, as a speaker, as a consultant, I'm very consistent. Look at our One Martial Arts pages. We're very consistent. Look at our Google business page. We're very consistent. Look at our Instagram. We're very consistent. So it's consistency is what's important here, James. So if you talk about, I'd start my Google Calendar first and put in all my events, all of them, right? no matter whether it's parents' night out, whether it's Nerf wars, whether it's trunk or treats, whether in our case, extreme kickboxing, the 2 hour workout the morning of Thanksgiving, the 2 hour workout the day after Thanksgiving, after Christmas, and of course, the 2 hour workout on New Year's Day, the mom and me party, the dad and me party. There's a balance of retention events as well as lead generating events. But the way we treat lead generating events are not with a clipboard going, hey, you ever think about signing up for martial arts, or holding the cotton candy hostage? I need your name and your email if you want cotton candy, right? So when we talk about lead generating events, it's important that we do so mindfully. For me, I'm never concerned about my ROI when it comes to community based events. Here's a classic example. We had a student sign up for after school on Monday, right? We charge $860 a month for after school. He came to us from a family picnic day, or a family, you know, day they did at an elementary school a month ago. And all we did was serve cotton candy. But make no mistake, I have acrylic frames set up, James. Then it said after school with a QR code. It says youth karate with a QR code. It says, pre K and kinder with a QR code. So all they have to do is take out their phone and scan it. Well, this person scanned it, and a month later, they signed up for after school. Did I know for a fact, guaranteed, they were going to sign up for after school? No, no. And if I went about it with that mindset, I would do no events. But our community presence is rich, very rich, right? My wife is at an elementary school. No, my daughter's middle school right now, setting up for the dance and the Halloween party. I had to bring her a box of clowns today. With the impact that has, looking at one martial arts, also just not looking for leads, just genuinely giving back, giving back. My wife is there all day long. She'll be there for this middle school dance and the haunted house, all of it, all of it, all of it. That's powerful, James, beyond anything. Hey, Miss Monique, what's up, Karate for Girls? Again, if you're here, say hi, tell us you're here. Mark will pop it up and give you a shout out. So tomorrow at the One Martial Arts location in Millbrae, we have Yes on J, which is raising money. It's a bill we're trying to get passed to raise money so the school districts have more money, right, for our elementary schools. Guess what? We invited them to put a table outside our school to talk about it. So when our students go in and out and all that, one of our busiest days is Saturdays, and you'll see that at It's Time Life Purpose. Our Saturdays are nuts, are nuts. It gives them an opportunity. How many students did I get out of letting the moms of the PTA set up a table in front of our school, right, to do Yes on J? Go. How many students will we get out of that? Go. You can't, right? I mean, there's no way to measure that. And that's okay, because I do believe community presence is real important in cultivating a trusted brand. You with me? So look at our October, right? Look at these 2 days of October should be an example that as we come into November and December, we do not take our foot off the gas. We do not. So keep those questions coming. If you got a question, it's supposed to be Q&A today, but this is where we're at, right? If you got a question, put it in there, and I would love, 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 love. So it's not so much a theme, James, as it is fulfilling your purpose, right? Fulfilling your purpose. And what is your purpose, right? At Resilient Martial Arts? What is your purpose at Karate for Girls? What is your purpose? For us to live your best life, we need to have retention events like Mom and Me, Dad and Me. We need to have a Halloween party where it's added value for our families. And of course, every January we have a tuition increase. We call it the cost of living. But we allow people to buy 1 year paid in full at the current rate. I'm not big on cash outs. You have to spread that money out over 12 months. Not big on it. But again, the extra value it serves, the extra value it adds is powerful. And if you temper that with a Halloween party, you temper that with a fall camp, right? Because people need it. You temper that with a Black Friday camp so moms can clean up and go shopping the day after Thanksgiving. If you temper that with winter camp, if you temper that with a holiday party, if you temper that with savings and offers during the month of December, your January, you already hit the ground running, right? You hit that ground running. So for me, it's really important to know the balance of that. So, that theme is live your best life for us. Committing to serve the community is living our best life, right? Creating retention events internally, James, that generally just serve our parents, we're living our best life. Like, for Valentine's Day, we do a parents' night out. It's not to generate leads, it's to serve our families. It's free. We don't charge for it. So it's not even 25 bucks. We eat the cost, we pay for the staff, we pay for the pizzas. We genuinely want to say to our parents, please celebrate the love between you and your, significant other, and we'll watch the kids. We are grateful to do that. See, but those are retention events. We don't charge for any of them. We don't charge for Halloween, we don't charge for Christmas. And between the gift cards and everything, James, tomorrow, I don't know, between the $4,000 of candy, the gift cards at both locations, the staffing and payroll, I've probably invested somewhere upwards of $7,000 for all of Halloween. And it's great because we do both serving the community with the trunk or treats, as well as the table outside for Yes on Jay, right? As well as, they'll be out there doing Yes on Jay during our Halloween party, plus Halloween parties at both locations, right? I mean, all of it. But again, going back to the Disney thing, you forgot to remind me, Marco. Disney's had a rough year in people going to the park, right? They just raised their annual passes by $100. You would think, if anything, Disney would be reducing the price. No, it's the opposite. They're raising the price of the annual pass. Why? Because it's their strategy. No matter how the park is performing, good or bad or indifferent, they have strategies to grow their business and sustain it. Same thing here. I can't tell you how many people, the minute they raise their tuition and all of a sudden, a handful of people leave, they want to drop their prices right away. Right away. Drop my prices, right? Or the guy down the street is cheaper than me. Let me be cheaper than him. I don't believe that's a great way to grow a trusted business, right? It's simply not. It's not. It's like the guy who owns the furniture store that's always going out of business. You ever see that guy? He's got, a Labor Day weekend sale, Memorial Day weekend sale, 4th of July weekend sale. He's got a Valentine's Day sale. And on top of it, he's always going out of business. Who has seen that furniture store in your community, right? We all have at least one. What's David's question, Marco? Black Friday camp. Never heard of that. Love the idea, sir. Do you charge for that camp? What a great question. We charge for all of our camps, sir. Like we have a fall camp. The thing is, the fall camp is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, because Thursday is Thanksgiving. And then Friday will be a day of camp, right? Or Black Friday. We don't really have the need for it here, but I know a lot of people, mom wants to clean up, mom wants to just catch your breath. So if I was going to do that Friday, and we've done them in the past, we just don't do them now because I want my team to be off. But for Black Friday, half day camps. Do a full day because there'll be that mom that wants a full day. Do a full day for $70. Do a half day for 35 or 50. Do a half day for 50. Do a full day for 70 or 80. And you'd be amazed. You would be amazed. But that should be being advertised now. We started ours over a week ago, David. So going back to James' question and planning out his calendar, he should not only have a Black Friday camp, right, on whatever that date is on Friday, he also has it on his calendar 6 weeks prior. Print the flyers, hang them throughout the school. Post it at Facebook, post it at Instagram, post it at Google, and post it at nextdoor.com. People never use Nextdoor as much as they should. And then, of course, it's up on our Market Muscles TV. Of course, we're announcing it in the classes. So you can't market one way. And you think one event, you throw a flyer up on the counter. Yay! Absolutely not. You've got to market it and market it and market it. So yeah, David, I would charge. Or I've seen this other one, which I don't think is a bad gimmick. If you bring a friend that's never, ever, ever, never, ever, ever, ever been a student at One Martial Arts, you get to come to camp for free, right? They pay, but you're free. See, you can do that too. You can always do that too. The challenge is when they're bringing their cousin who's visiting from New York, and we're in California for Thanksgiving, and they bring them to camp. So that's why we don't do that, right? Everybody pays like on an airplane, right? All right. So that's what I'm going to ask you to do in November, December is to please, you know, think of ways to make the momentum build so that when you hit January, you're rocking it. You're rocking it. So that was a great question. What other questions do you have, folks? Please put it in there. May have answered my question with the above to your best. To be your best. Yeah. And again, walking in, my wife's there at 9 a.m. and she's helping set up this haunted house and this dance, and she forgot clowns. She is living her best life. And they know because they'll turn around and see me at Meadows and it'll get through the community. They'll see me at Green Hills. They'll see the Yes on J table out there tomorrow. They'll see all those going, man, One Martial Arts is just on it. And we are. We are. Because you don't build trust one way to the community by teaching quality martial arts classes and life skills. You build trust in the community by marketing 70 ways to 70 people. So our presence in all these different environments always so. Oh yeah, and I didn't throw that one in on Halloween night in front of my house. We have the cotton candy machine set up, and we boldly posted that next door as one of those places with a freaking location for people to come trick or treat. They have this little map, so if you're giving out candy from your school on Halloween night, which I highly recommend, if you don't want to do it from your house, then put the pin on the next door map in your community for a place people can come to trick or treat. You with me? Yeah, we have cotton candy served for 3 hours. There's a line out around our block for about an hour and a half. It's crazy. It's crazy because it's a novelty. Who serves cotton candy on Halloween? Go. I'm waiting. There simply isn't. And they get that big bag of candy with the call to action card in it. See? So again, the reason we lean so hard, we're a kid-centric business. Halloween is one of the biggest kid-centric holidays, right? We try to respect Christmas by just doing our annual party, and we don't do a super sale or things like that. But the year paid in full is very strategic time-wise with the tuition increase that happens every January. See, but even with that, we don't sell it as your tuition's going up $240 a year, which it roughly does. We share, right? $2 a class. Roughly, it's going up $2 a class. Is that worth it to you? Is it worth it to you? I think so. I think so, right? Another thing we're going to try to budget for, I was talking to my It's Time group mentoring, the people in that, and I said, we're a cash in, cash out business, right? Money in, money out. We really want to strive to have a zero balance at the end of every month. What? You want to have 6 months of reserves. I have lines of credit. I have other resources. So if I need to pull money like we just did for $44,000 in air conditioners, we can do so. We can do so. But at the end of the year, that's why all these sales are happening. Everything's happening because we're looking at this last quarter and saying, what money have we earned this year, right? That we can spend so we don't pay it in taxes, right? I'd rather take that money I simply have to give in taxes and use it to offset. You need new mats? Buy them. You can depreciate that for 5 years, right? So now's the time to spend that money. I know it's a little scary because you don't want to have zero in the bank account. I'm just saying we're cash in, cash out. That's why I'm not big on cash outs in our business, because you have to put in a separate account, drip it out over 12 months, right? If you do a 1 year paid in full. If I make $30,000, I spend $30,000. Great. I need that to be this. I don't want my expenses to be overinflated on any given month, because I can pretty much dictate that my gross is going to be the same every month, right? And of course, I incrementally grow with students, but on a whole. So it's a great time to also be looking at, where should I be spending money? Cool. Keep those questions coming. And if you've come aboard and you're listening to the show, please put your name in there. Tell me where you're tuning in from. We always love, love, love to give you a shout out. Cool. All right. So I'm going to stay with this theme while I'm waiting on more questions. Another thing we do is we close for a week in December, right? We close for a week in December. And during that week, painting, maintenance, things like that, sprucing up the place. I'm lining up my contractors and different people like that. So January, when people come back through the door, new year, new place, New year, here's an upgrade. Those different things I think are super, super powerful. Even if you do them yourselves, get it done. Get it done. And that led me to another question somebody asked me. I know a lot of people are moving to this bi-weekly, bi-monthly tuition because they realize there's 7 months that all have 5 weeks, right? 5 weeks. So people are missing out on 7 weeks of tuition. Are you with me? Who's with me on that, right? I'm doing it monthly, and they're basically paying for 4 weeks or 8 classes. On the month that's 5 weeks, I lose out a week. I lose out a week. Okay, that's what you say. I lose out a week. So a lot of people are going to this bi-monthly thing where they charge you every 2 weeks. It looks like a smaller amount to the parent, right? It looks good on your handout. Oh, you don't charge $259 a month. Oh, you only charge 100 and whatever, $18, right? So I know a lot of people feel that way, but here's why we don't do that. Because parents are on a budget. So 1 month I pay you for 4 weeks. Next month I'm technically paying you for 5 weeks. And that can really get to be a nickel and diming perspective from some parents' eyes, as well as it messes up their budget. For example, with our after school program, what we do is there's 32 weeks of school. This is what we charge a week. And we divide that into 9 payments. That's it. That's it. So they know every month consistently it's going to be the same. And we're a premium after school program. We charge $860 a month. A month. So imagine if one of those months was upwards of 1,000, the next month's was 860. Would not work. And it offsets things like if you're closed for Labor Day weekend. In our case, we're closed for a week during Christmas. Nobody complains. They don't say, hey, I paid you for a whole month of lessons. Well, back in that 4-week month, you didn't. And all those 5-week months, you got 2 extra classes. So it offsets each other. And if you cultivate that, we find people do not complain. What's David's question about tuition? Can you put that up for me, Marco? Do you base your tuition increase on the current cost of living increase or a flat percentage of amount each year? We do 4%. We think it's reasonable. We know a couple years inflation has been horrible, 11% upwards. But we try to be very disciplined in that because I think it'd be very ill-fated for anybody, David, to go, well, this year it's going to be an increase of 12%. Next year it's going to be, I think, to consistently know and condition people habitually, it's 4% a year, 4% a year. Do I want to pay that 4% a year? Is there enough value being offered here? That's the big thing, right? And so we're also in the last quarter reviewing our curriculum. Some of the major changes are nobody will spar in year one. We're taking that out. I want to improve retention in year one, and we know sparring is an albatross when it comes to retention. So no sparring in year one. Great, wonderful. But that means I want them hitting more pads, right? So we're going to get new MMA gloves for the kids to wear, and I want them really cheap because I want them to throw them in there with the uniform. I don't want to charge them for them, but they're going to hit a lot more pads, a lot more bags, a lot more everything. That is the goal with that. That is the goal. That is the goal. We're also moving a couple of forms up into year two so that we're focusing more on basics in year one, helping people feel empowered and successful, which we believe will help our retention in year 2, 3, and 4. Okay, but not too many major changes are, as I shared in my last call with our It's Time group mentoring, our year 3 and 4 is huge, packed. Our retention is strong, strong, strong. So we're very proud of that. We're very proud of that. So being fixated on that year one, revamping the curriculum, we're revamping our schedule, we're changing things. So when they come in January 1, they're going to feel that trust. This is why I bought a year paid in full. This is why I've continued to take these tuition increases, right? Or cost of living increases. This is the value they continue each and every day. And going back to the curriculum again, why aren't you reviewing your curriculum every year? Why aren't you making it better every year? Why aren't you constantly tweaking your schedule? Why aren't you trying to figure out better drills and better methods of teaching any given stripe or form or self-defense technique? Why? Why? Think of Apple. If Apple didn't better its products, it wouldn't even be here. How much money Apple puts in research and development to develop, a better iPhone or a better computer or better whatever. You know how much money they put into that, right? into staff development of getting the best minds behind them. It's the same thing here. It's the same thing here. My top tier guys make six figures. They've been with me 13 years or longer. This is their life. This is their career, right? And I'm telling you, I can charge $259 when I have somebody like that stepping to the plate. It's okay to have the occasional, instructors in training that's 15 and 16 and 17, perfectly fine as assistants and supporting, and maybe even running a class when you're in a bind, but not consistently. The trust we've earned from our parents and family, why our retention is so high at year 3 and 4, why we continue after 25 years to be sustainable, right, is because of the fact that we invest heavily into curriculum development, staff development, and cultivating a staff that wants to make it their career. You with me? So again, it's borrowing from the big boys, it's borrowing from those other places, but nonetheless, it's things we should be using. I can't believe when someone says to me in this day and age that, I told my guy when we get to 150 students, I would pay him this. And when we get to 200, I'll pay him this. Right now, he works minimum wage, which the national minimum wage is averages 7.25. In Dallas, I was in Dallas, Texas, where the minimum wage is $7.25. Nobody's living on that. And he gets bonuses. I don't want bonuses. We don't work on bonuses. It's not the way we work, right? We don't. We're going to move into profit sharing with my two top tier guys. That's our next goal. But I don't believe in bonuses. It's what the fitness industry does. I have a friend in the fitness industry, and they're always stressed out at the end of the month because if they don't make their quota, they don't sign up a certain amount of people. Guess what? They don't get that bonus. You with me? Hey, Bob Poole, Go Martial Arts. What's happening, sir? Oh, Bob's in the process of refilming our updated curriculum. Right on. Right on. We should be. If you don't have great curriculum videos, and what I mean by that is they should be instructional videos based upon what? It's already been taught in class. That's the big thing I want you to get when we talk about that. At the end of it, do the demo video. To earn the stripe, this is the way it must look. And do it full speed, performance level, the whole 9 yards. I get that. But don't start out that way, right? Teach it to them. Reinforce the key sticking points everybody has, whether it's rechambering, whether it's, reaching into the lapel all the way to get a good grip, whatever, is chronic about that technique. That's what you hyper focus on in your instructional videos. Cool? Yeah, but we should all have instructional videos. The fact that I can whip out my phone, go into my studio app, hit the books, and be able to look at level 1, Red Stripe 5, that's easy. I announce that in a class. Okay, kids, what do we need to practice? Level 1, Red Stripe 5. Parents, remember on your phone, just take it out. Go down to the books in the lower corner, click on the books, look up level 1, Red Stripe 5. That's Disney. You know what it's like at the end of a class to have a parent come up to you and say, what should my child practice for the next class? And you launch into the soliloquy about the dragon kneeling to the tiger and this and that. And you got to get back and teach the next class? No way. No way. So even that, see how we storyboarded that experience out? Right, James? Because I had so many instructors, like scared. You have some 17-year-old kid, their parent walks up and says to you, my kid hasn't earned a stripe this week. Well, if you look right up there, ma'am, it says Learn Week, Red Stripe 5. Okay. Okay. Well, they haven't earned a stripe in weeks. Well, ma'am, looking at their belt, I see they have 4 stripes in this cycle: yellow, orange, green, and blue. Those are all 4 stripes needed up to today to qualify for the next cycle belt testing. Oh, okay. See, so even that we storyboarded because I can tell you how many young instructors, you got to talk to professor. Let me talk to it. We empower them. And so even that, right? You don't have to go into the computer. You don't have to go in a Rolodex card. You look at the kid's belt. You can converse with this parent and give them an answer that will answer that question. Everybody see that? So that whole storyboarding, that whole storyboarding with Disney has really taught me a lot. Karth, hey Karth, are your instructional videos on a private page? Yeah, we keep them on Vimeo, and they're private now because I'm going to tell you what happened. Can I do this? Okay, I had somebody that took on my curriculum, and I said, well, the only thing you have to make sure is that you're going to earn a black belt with me, right? They're in a kind of a dire straits, and they believe their curriculum couldn't make them money. So I said, great. And they didn't fulfill that promise. They didn't earn a black belt with me. And I'm very particular about that. Talk to Jason Smith. He's a black belt with me, not under me, with me. I hate that under thing. It's so sad. He's a black belt with me. And he's trained with me. He came out and took a black belt test with me physically. He's a qualified black belt. One of his instructors are coming out here at It's Time Live. He will test in front of me for his black belt, and that's the way I roll. So this person never fulfilled that. But what they did do was take my YouTube videos publicly, learn off that video, and they were teaching that curriculum. Yeah, I still am perplexed by that to this day, but live and learn. So we made those videos private. We took them out. You have to access them via the app at my studio, through my studio. Yeah, we just post them at Vimeo and they're now private. That's it. So I think it's important. Whether you put them publicly at YouTube or publicly at Vimeo, whatever, that's your call, whatever you want to do. I think making them accessible for your students is important. Market Muscles, you can log into the student portal and watch the videos there. It's a little cumbersome, right, and clanky to do that. But once you've logged in and bookmark it and remember me and all that stuff, it's very easy for your child to, Chromecast that up on a TV or Apple TV it and watch that video, right? Right. But it's so great to see a kid, because my daughter will do that. We'll be driving to class and she's, got the app open at my studio and she's watching the video. So to me, I think it's really, really cool. Great questions today. It's good to see you here, Barb. You too, Karth. As you guys, if you're here hanging out, tell me you're here and give me your name and the name of your school. So as you see, a lot of these things are disruptive. They're not the industry norm. And that's cool, right? In the words of Frank Sinatra, I did it my way, right? You didn't open a business to do it everybody else's way. You opened a business to do it your way, but to do it at a level of profitability and success and sustainability where you can have a life of balance and peace and comfort and own a home and take care of your family and take care of your team and make it their career and give back to the community and impact it. That's a juggling act, right? But it can be done. It really, really can be done. You just have to believe in it enough that if one way doesn't work and fail, you try another way. If that way doesn't work and fail, you try another way, because you're committed to the purpose. Mine is live your best life. So failure is not an option when it comes to designing curriculum. I'm married to the purpose of live your best life. I'm not married to the dogma of a 5,000-year-old system of martial arts that says do it only my way. I'm not. See, that's where purpose really supersedes my ego, supersedes my insecurity or my laziness to not want to visit this curriculum and make it better. Yeah, people really like blown away when I look at their curriculum and I develop drills and stuff. I did it for BJJ, Taekwondo, Kung Fu, Shotokan, because it's really about meeting people where they are at. And where's the average kid today at 7 years old, right? Where is he? And how to make them feel empowered and successful, right? They're not living their best life. If I can sit there egotistically and say, my curriculum's so hard, only 2 people have earned a black belt in 50 years, right? But the yin to the yang of that, I don't want somebody earning a black belt that can't fight the way out of a wet paper bag. Where's the balance? Where's the balance? Again, I don't know what your belief system is, nor am I a person who should tell you what that is, right? But do you have a conviction strong enough to see you through your failure, through the financial setbacks, through people leaving you, through team members moving on? Do you have that type of commitment to your purpose? Not ego, not insecurity, not narcissism, none of that stuff. A genuine purpose that you humbly fulfill and still watch your business do this. And if you don't, then you need to hang with us more. Come be part of the Disruptors at the Disruptor Group page. Come join us at It's Time Live Purpose for 1 day, 2 or 4 days. Watch this podcast. We have 8 years of podcasts. Begin heading down that road. And at the end of the day, I don't feed you, I don't clothe you, I don't pay your rent. But I hope it inspires you to discover your version of success, where you wake up every day and you jump out of that bed with so much gratitude in your heart that you get to do what you do, whether you make a lot of money at it or not. Now, as I shared, I'm at the highest level of net worth I've ever been, thanks to my relationship with Sam On. But I still wear Converse, man, and I'm real simple. I'm pretty simple. And that is what I think is great about earning wealth at this point in life, is that money doesn't define me. It doesn't drive me. It's not my pure motivation. I understand it's currency, it's a vehicle, it's a tool. But if I'm not happy with myself, money's not going to make me happy. If I'm not a balanced human being, money's not going to balance me. But if we can do that, then we now have this empowerment when it comes with money. And that was very disruptive for my thinking because I grew up very poor, impoverished, and I had an impoverished mindset as a child. It's taught me that it doesn't define me. So I can stand toe to toe with a billionaire and not feel lesser than. I can stand toe to toe with somebody who's homeless and feel equal to, right? So that's super important in cultivating your version of success, in having idea and going, okay, what Edison did, 800 attempts on the light bulb before he finally made a light bulb that worked. You might have this idea like a light bulb that you really believe in with your heart and soul, and you're going to have to go through 800 failures before that idea becomes successful. And that's what makes disruption so unique. So unique. I saw the other day, right? SpaceX. Not only were these rockets coming back to Earth where we can reuse them, they caught them before they hit the landing pad. What the heck? Like little claws. These freaking rockets came down out of the sky and they grabbed them, right? I drive a Tesla. This car can drive itself. And now it has a new feature where I can call the car from my phone. It could be in a parking lot 3 blocks away, and I can call my car and it'll drive to the front of the restaurant and pick me up. That's disruption on all levels. But that conviction that comes with it. Do you believe enough in whatever the purpose is of your martial arts school to see it through to fruition? May not be a day, a year, a month, whatever, but your conviction is so strong. And with that conviction comes your dedication to learning what is necessary to fulfill your purpose. You with me? That's important. That's important. Hey, Garth. Now you say hello, huh? You're there, and then you ask a question, Garth, then you say hello. I'm with you. I'm with you. So, any last minute questions? Disruption for me is what I live by. I recognize with it comes a lot of ridicule. A lot of it comes with criticism and haters. Who's that guy in the black beanie? What the heck's he talking about? I got criticism when I went to Korea. I'm not Taekwondo. I'm not Cookie Wan. I'm not even Korean. And I'm allowed to speak on the stage in Korea in front of one of the biggest Taekwondo organizations in the world. Why? Why? Because ideas of disruption transcend. That's the beautiful thing about that. They transcend fear, hypocrisy, prejudice, racism. Disruption, ideas that are going to genuinely better this world, in this case, live your best life, it can offer you that opportunity. So whether it's your martial arts school or Meta or a TED Talk, I've been able to cross those different, industries and platforms because ideas of disruption are really what's going to move us forward in not only the martial arts industry, but in the world at large. I know that's a lot. That's a lot to stomach here on this weekend. Well, after this, I get to go do a trunk or treat. So won't be a lot of disruption there, but we'll definitely have a lot of fun doing that. Cool. All right. So I'm going to start thanking our sponsors. Let's begin to do that. Who do we have? Marco, as always. Tusa, very proud of Tusa. My family has been buying from them since the late 90s. We continue to have a partnership to this day. And now it's between me and the son, which is really nice. I love Gunny. He's a good soul. And we buy 90% of our martial arts supplies from them. Market Muscle, Steven Reinstein. I'm always picking his brain. I feel like a big brother to him. What he's done for websites, genuinely for his love of helping people, it's unequaled. Unequaled. My studio just launched version 2, moved to Stripe, which I think was a very smart move. Stripe is a better payment platform. It's more universal. It's more trusted. It's more secure. Take your pick. Take your pick. So I think that's been a brilliant move. Kids Love Life Skills, we've revamped. We're now a subscription-based model, $99 a month. You have access to tons and tons of life skills learning, including a monthly meeting with me, which allow you to really implement those life skills on the highest level. If you're not teaching life skills in your kid-centric academy, dojo, dojang, martial arts school, you are missing the boat. Okay? I can't tell you enough. LC Accounting, my sister Letitia, love ya. She keeps my numbers in order. She's a BJJ and a black belt in Kempo. So I would recommend, if you need a great bookkeeper, you talk to her. And Kin Creative, as I shared what me and the boys are doing, and now the girls, because we have a number of women working with us at Kin Creative, which I am part of the family. I am part of their team. I am part of that business. People have been asking me, and they wonder, what do you do? Are you a client? You know, it's like kind of like hair club for the men, right? I'm not only the founder, I'm a client, right? I am not only a partner and run ads with them, I work with them directly. And I'm very proud of that relationship. It's taken 2 years to get to this point of trust. And what we're doing in designing digital ad in the digital ad space, I think is very, very disruptive. And we'll continue to do that for the martial arts industry. So it's Time Life Purpose, November 9th through 12th. Come for 1 day, 2 days, or 4 days. Of course, the 4 days is magic. You know, we have Dave Kovar on Saturday with the Instructors Boot Camp. You watch classes. I narrate. We really understand everything I talk about, the behavior in one martial arts. You witness it firsthand, right? Sunday is all business plus marketing with Adam. Shannon G. Park will be, sharing her early child development. She's got a degree in it. She works with kids in Taekwondo, and she's developed Story, which is an early childhood learning program. And dojongs and schools across the country are just raving about it. And then, of course, yours truly. I wear a lot of hats and I wear them well. And I think to be a successful small business owner, you need to become great at a lot of things. Not good, great. And I believe with the right mindset and with the abundance of learning that's out there, you can be great as a martial artist, great as a martial arts instructor, great as a small business owner, and great as an entrepreneur. And of course, Sam On joins us on Tuesday virtually, because after these 3 days of learning, all this money we're going to be making, what are you going to do with it? Well, Sam is going to help us understand how to invest it best. Some people are only coming to Dave Kovar's boot camp. Several schools reached out and said, hey, can I sign up my team? They're young. I just want them there for the boot camp. Absolutely. Some people said, can I just send my program director for Sunday? Absolutely. Some said for 2 days. So we offer a lot of different options because we really want to help you create your version of success. Cool? All right. Hey, make sure you join the Disruptor group page at Facebook, okay? Super powerful. I want you to be there. Go look under files. We don't talk about it. There's hundreds of thousands of dollars of systems and learning and things that you can borrow from to make your school that much better. But if you're not one of those people that have the ability to do that, you'll never find it. That's why I don't announce it. I don't promote it, but go look. I know how many disruptors are going, I didn't know that. It's there. Become part of our disruptor group at Facebook. Watch this podcast. Success Never Sleeps on all Spotify, Apple, all the different platforms. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, please. At my YouTube channel, we have 8 years of these shows are there, right? Plus my car talks, the things that kind of started me was my whole car talk things 8 years ago. Go and watch those as well. Follow me at Instagram. For everything else, please go to brandonbeliso.com. So I hope you got a lot out of today's show. Thank you for everybody that stayed and hung out and offered some questions. I appreciate you for that. Have a wonderful Halloween. Go out there and make a difference. Create that community awareness of your brand, and I promise you will generate new leads. I'm Brannon Beliso. This is Success Never Sleeps. Until we talk again, what are you going to go out there and do? Live your best life.